So I said I would make a video on my whole setup for fishing. So right here we have the Ugly Stik GX2 with 25-pound tri-line on there. It is a great reel. The pole will stand as much weight as this line does. I've had this spool of line for probably over a year. I bought this pole maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago maybe. $50 for this pole. You can catch way more than $50 worth of fish on there. My favorite lure right now is this tungsten, I think it's a tungsten lure. Jack Slap. I will look real quick. Jack Slap blade. That is not what that is. That's a I'm not really sure what that is, but it doesn't work very good. I don't really like that thing too much. But then I've got in my tackle box some of these little things. These work pretty well. I'm not really sure what they're called. And some more of them in there. I've got some green salamanders, and I've got some brown salamanders. The brown ones work good. They're all dry rotty now. These ones work really well. I was told a long time ago by somebody that you take and swim them up to the nest, a bass nest, because apparently they like to eat bass eggs. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I was told. Then I've got some green worms, some little white worms here, and some of these worms that you hook. You can hook like this here. That's like the simplest way you can do it. I don't remember what that is called, but they swim like that. I've never caught anything like that, but I'm sure that other people have. I've got some crawdads. Crawdads don't really do too good for me. I never really catch too much stuff on a crawdad. I don't think I've actually ever caught but a couple fish on a crawdad artificial. I have caught them on live crawdads. Got some bobbers here, and the remains of a pumpkin worm that got ripped to shreds after one use. Then I've got some other worms here. These work pretty well. I have caught some things on those. I don't use bobbers ever, but you can if you want. The perch, I believe it is, love these double-tailed things. They don't sell these at the store no more. You have to order these, is what I'm saying. At least I haven't seen them in the store in years. And then I have these. This is what I mainly use when I'm hook a perch through the tail. I'll catch a perch, and then what I'll do, because their scales are so hard, I'll take my knife here. It's a knife for skinning deer, I'm pretty sure, but I just take on their tail, take the scales off of their tail, both sides, and hook that hook right through their hooks. Really easy. This is what I use a lot of the time. Octopus hook, octopus circle hook. Yeah, it says that it's for live bait. I'll take it and hook it right through the tail. I've got 3 of these. They work really well. I've got some tiny little hooks. I don't really go for perch at all because I'm not too good at catching perch. Then I've got about 20 of these hooks. These are I don't remember. I got these in a bass catching pack. It was a bunch of these types of hooks in a pack made for catching bass. Then I've got some of these little guys here. These work really well for everything, basically. So that's all of these. Let me get these put up. And then I will show you the bottom. Right, so then I've got this. A lot of my lures, I've gotten maybe 10 of my lures in here, my main things, are from mystery tackle boxes. They're really, really worth it. I would recommend getting them. If you're not sure about getting them, I have not signed up for the monthly thing, but I do just go to the store and buy one, because they sell them at Walmart now. But mystery tackle box, you can take a picture of your fish up against this, and that's the requirements. And I believe that it does have to be caught by the lures that you've gotten in their pack. So like I caught that 16-pound bass. no, not 16 pound, oh Lord. It wasn't 16 pounds, 16 inches bass. That would have, I could have taken a picture of that next to this and sent it in, and I would have maybe gotten a free box, but I was not thinking. And then this is kind of like, this kind of teaches you basically how to fish, which I already know how to do that. And I've got a set of Ozark Trail lure sets. Comes with that, a minnow, 2 crankbaits, a rattle lure, and a popper. The popper works really well. All these baits in here work really well. The only thing I haven't really caught much on is that minnow. I went fishing, testing these out one day. I caught 8 fish in here in about 45 minutes. So that tells you that these are pretty decent. I got these in a mystery tackle box. Biospun ExoSwim 4. I made a video on these, I think, a couple days ago. Caught a 10 or 12 inch bass. It was a pretty small bass on those. This I also got out of a mystery tackle box. I did break the bill, so don't lure them in. Don't be careful with your things. Don't be jerking it all around like I was. I was throwing it out there and yanking it as hard as I could, and it popped up out the water and smacked into the side of the dock right here. It was awful. It sucked. But this is about $8 online if you order one. These are, I think, $6 or $7. These are $8. I'm not too big on this. It works. I've caught 1 fish on it. Like, it was like a 10 or 12 inch bass. I'm catching a lot of 12 inch bass lately. But that, I caught that. I used that to catch a 12 inch. It wasn't too big. It was alright. Then I've got these Berkley swim baits. These are 3/8, I think. I don't know where it says, but it says somewhere 3/8. Am I just stupid? I thought that I saw it somewhere. Well, these are nice size. These, the only thing that I'm not too big on is that little metal prong right there. If you can see it right there. That just ruins your worms. It sucks because it'll tear them up, and you have to have really nice size ones. I normally run these with these. A set of 3 of these was $5.50. They're really good, but they're okay. These EWG hooks I used these. I've only used these one time in the video that I just posted last night, I think. I used these with some pumpkin worms, green pumpkin worms. Had a brushless hook so you wouldn't get stuck in brush. Caught 2 bass back to back, literally one right after the other. Now I've got the Googan Squad Hummer. Got this out of a mystery tackle box as well. I don't like this. I don't like it. I have not caught a single fish on this. It's like $7, $8, $9 to buy online. I got it out of a mystery tackle box. I was like, oh man, this looks pretty cool. Haven't caught a single thing on it, and you need something twice as long as the pond here just to get it actually going, and nothing. I've caught nothing. Now I got these, and something else I got out of a bass box. Oh, and these. Out of a bass mystery tackle box. Now I got this, that, these, and one other thing. Oh, and I got those out of a bass box too. Out of a crappie and panfish box. Now these work pretty well. I've only caught bass on these. Once again, I've only caught bass on these. I used the tiny gold hooks right there with those. And these, I looked up on eBay. These were $14 on eBay. Now I'm not sure if that's just somebody selling them for way more than they're worth, because it's only 5 in a pack. These are okay. I haven't caught a single thing on these. Those are alright. I have not used these yet. I'm sure that these would work pretty okay for small bass, medium bass maybe, on just like a normal hook. I think the main reason that I'm not catching anything is because I only use this one pole with 25-pound test. You probably want some smaller, lighter, clear line for catching smaller fish, obviously, but that's what I use. And I have this Yum crawfish spray. You can spray that on anything. It's good. It's a couple dollars. It's not too much money to buy that, and it's lasted me over a year. I've got just some split shots here. I had a box full of lead sinkers, but I lost them. We used to make those, me and my grandpa. And we've got some tri-line, 25-pound. This is like a couple bucks. You can buy braided tri-line, but that's only for catching like catfish. You don't really need that much weight. Braided would probably, the pole would probably break before braided, to be honest. Now here I've got some, what I was talking about earlier, the Ozark Trail. These, don't let the price fool you. These are like, this was like $8 for 5 lures, and I have caught more fish on these 5 than I have caught on a lot of other things. These are, just because they're cheap doesn't mean they're bad. These are really good, really cheap. Buy these. These are good for catching bass. They're really good. It doesn't matter if they're cheap. They're still high, pretty decently pretty decent quality, and they're really cheap. These crawdads, if that's even what these are supposed to be, I don't like these. Yet again, I don't like crawdads. They don't work for me. Maybe they'll work for you, but the claws right here spin, and the claws don't start spinning until you're really reeling it in really fast. And if you've ever seen a crawfish move, a crawdad move, they'll take their tail and they'll spit it out. They'll go like, and they only do that if something goes up to it. So it's not very realistic having them just spinning their claws around in a circle, because they don't spin. Their claws don't spin. They don't swim. The crawdad doesn't swim. They just sit there and they walk. And if something comes up to them, they'll flop their tail out and it'll send like a jet of water out, and they'll move. Here I've got another tiny little itty bitty minnow from Ozark Trail. Again, this was $1. I went out to this pond, and the day that I bought this, hooked it up, first cast, caught a fish. $1 caught me a fish that was worth more than $1, you know. Then I've got a bunch of bobbers here, and I've got just this here. This, I believe you hook it through their gills. It does not hurt them. You hook it through their gills, and then you bring it back through that loop, set them in the water so they won't die. I don't use this because where I go to keep fish, I put them in a basket because the turtles always come up and try to eat the fish. So, and they will eat your fish. They love fish. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I rig everything. Let me put some of this stuff back real quick. Right, so this is how I rig one of the pumpkin worms here. The only thing that I don't like about this is that I caught a bass the other day, 12, 14-inch bass, 13, 14-inch bass, and when I reeled him in, the worm was gone. It was just gone. I think it's because the tip of this worm is so thin. When I'll show you how I hook it, it just kind of ripped it off. Now, these hooks are pretty good. Now, it says that they do all different sorts of special stuff, but these hooks are not that special. They would be alright for hooking live bait, hook the perch through the tail, but if you catch a really big fish on this, that hook is going to bend. Now, it seems to be pretty good. It's got a nice size barb on there where you hook them. And this hook isn't very good for how I rig this, but it is at the same time. Now, what I'm going to do is take the very tip of the worm here, hook it like that, bring it all the way up to the top. Then you're going to want to turn it around like that, facing to where the rest of the worm is facing the hook like that. Then you're going to want to give the worm some slack like that and hook it through its back just like that and pull it back down. And then you're going to take the hook and hook it right through there. So no weeds or nothing like that will grab you. I'm going to give this a few casts and see what happens. Let me get that set up on the hook, on the pole. When it comes to tying my hooks, I like to, if I could get it through the eye, run it through there, spin the line around itself a couple of times, to where it looks like I can't hardly see it, so, but like that. Then you'll take it and run this string here through that bottom loop. Like that. Then you'll run that back through that loop. If you did it right, when you pull on it, it will not come loose. If you did it wrong, when you pull on it, it'll all fall apart, and it will no longer be together. Like when you pull it, it'll unravel itself. Now you want to do that because lures are not cheap, and that's how I tie everything. You want to try and keep your stuff. So you want to be careful with how you tie your things. Little bitty bass chasing this worm right here. Look at that little thing. What are you gonna do? You ain't gonna go after this worm. But bass like it where it's cool, so you're gonna want to try and throw where it's shady. They like the shade, I've found, because especially on hot days. Now today isn't too hot because it's cloudy out, but if it was no clouds out, it would be in the 90s probably. It's about 80 degrees out here right now. Feels like maybe like 77, 78. It's not